Welcome to the Route to Recovery series. I'm your host, John Kmitta, Associate Publisher and Editorial Brand Director of SportsField Management magazine. My guest today is John Watt, CSFM, Director of Grounds for North Kansas City School District in Kansas City, Missouri. Welcome, John.
Hi, John. Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time. So I just wanted to start off, get a feel for, maybe start with an overview of your facilities, your grounds, your fields that you manage on a typical basis, what your typical crew is, and then how that's all been impacted by the pandemic.
Okay. Well, we're a large school district. We have over 39 sites that we take care of on a weekly basis. Over 50 athletic fields that my crew shares tasks with. It averages around a total of 880 acres that we cover, over 90 square miles, and we're pretty spread out. But I have a crew of 13. 11 of those are full-time, and then 2 I have like seasonals.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes during this pandemic, my seasonals are not allowed to work, so it's put onto the full-time staff. And we try to go around to and do what we can during this pandemic. We've had our abbreviated work hours to help so that everybody's not in the same confined area throughout the time. But just recently, we were able to go back to 40 hours a week to get more stuff done, other than we were just constantly mowing.
Sure.
And I mean, that's a big part of our job, but at the same time, there's a lot of other agronomical things that we need to be getting accomplished during this time. But that kind of that's just a brief overview, really, of our district. I mean, it's a large district. We're able to get a lot accomplished, and I have a hardworking crew that I'm very proud of.
What type of work have you been able to get accomplished? You mentioned that for a while you were just doing the mowing, but what's kind of been your overall approach agronomically to managing the fields?
Well, without the teams playing, we're able to get some of the edges cleaned out, on ball fields. I'd like to get a lot more aerification done, but at the same time, I mean, it's time consuming, but we don't have, my staff wasn't able to work during that time to get a lot of that done. But now with the 40 hours a week, we're able to get back on those projects besides the mowing side of things. But also, so far I've been reluctant. We haven't had to really kick on our irrigation, which that always causes an issue whenever if you get an irrigation break and things. But
Sure.
We don't have to deal with that. So, but yeah, I mean, we're able to get a lot of the fertility done, the seeding, some of the things that normally during mid-season you can't get going.
Mm-hmm. Now, were you ever shut down at any point in the whole process when the pandemic first started impacting everyone, or were you able to work straight through, or what was kind of the beginning for you?
Well, it happened actually right at our spring break week, which majority of the staff is already off. And we started to, during that time frame, all of the supervisors were able to get together and start a plan for, the abbreviated work schedule, whether it's 3 days a week, different times of that nature. But as for a complete shutdown, no, we never did in the district.
Obviously, with school being out, what's been your experience so far with public on your fields, in terms of your fields and facilities that are open to the public? How have you approached that? What kind of activity have you seen, and what's been your experience there?
Well, fences only do as good as I guess they're intended, but all of the stadiums and fields that have a fence to where a gate, and they're all locked up. We have signs hung up, closed for during this time. And same with all my playgrounds at the schools. We had to rope off every single one of them. But we do have some fields that, and tracks especially, that are open fenced, and people come and use them all the time. I mean, we still get a group of kids that jump fences.
Hmm.
You know, I say kids because most grown adults aren't jumping the fences, but we get a lot of that still going on. I mean, especially really nice warm days. And but if we have work going on, I mean, it's not a, most of the time you just tell them, hey, you can't be here, and then
Hmm.
they're gone. So,
Yeah.
but,
How have you had to change things up, or how have you had to approach the actual health side for your crews? And in terms of management, you mentioned, I mean, obviously your guys are probably separated in that, but what's been your approach there for maintaining the health and well-being of your crew?
well, each one of them has their own assigned truck, you know, and trailer, and actually even lawnmowers. So it's their ownership. So nobody else hops on it for, you know, sanitary reasons.
Hmm.
And they're able to, they're spread out. I mean, with the 880 acres that we take care of, I mean, we're spread out anyways. But you know, they keep their distance. Um, and you know, the district has provided, you know, gloves and masks and things if you know, if they choose to wear them, but we have them available for them. And you know, but we've been pretty lenient at you know, if somebody doesn't feel well, then you know, you stay home. I mean, it helps everybody out in the long run. So
Now, what about in terms of looking ahead, in terms of trying to plan for when play actually does resume? What's been the discussion there? What's your approach for having athletic fields ready for play, whether it's for, you know, summer practices or fall sports season or beyond?
well, we're maintaining our fields as if, you know, if tomorrow all of a sudden I'm told that, hey, we're having a camp, but, you know, the painting, the markings of the fields are not done, you know, for a soccer field or
Hmm.
things of that nature. But we're, we're pretty much ready. Right now, I have a date of July 15th that we're going to try to host a senior send off
Okay.
for our 4 high schools, to where, you know, since the baseball program didn't get a play, that all 4 high schools, all seniors would show up and play a game, you know, whether it's an inning or 2 innings or
Hmm.
what, you know, and we have no idea on how many will even participate, but it's the same with, you know, all of our spring sports, whether it's tennis and, you know, track events and soccer. It was girls soccer for Missouri is in the spring. So, you know, but I mean, it's so really July 15th is a set date for me in my mind, but there's still the option of whether camps are even going to happen.
Hmm.
You know, I mean, all that stuff's still in the air. But
Sure. I guess overall, final question for you. Any advice for other field managers, agronomic or otherwise, about getting through this time and how to approach things?
well, my only suggestion is think outside of the box, or think outside of the book that we've all been taught. I mean, if we're able to get out and do some aggressive verification or verticutting and things, you know, to where you can get a lot of that accomplished. Or even, you know, if you have POA on the field and you try to treat the POA, yeah, it's going to make it look chicken pox
Mhm.
time, but this might be a time to do that, to where it's actively growing, and you know, you don't have a game that you're worried about, whether it's televised or, you know, camera shots or anything of an ugly looking field. But this might be the time to try something different, and you'll have, you know, you have time to regrow it. And you
Sure.
know, so
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time this morning, and you know, best of luck moving forward. And hopefully, we'll get to speak to you again near future with a follow up. And once again, appreciate it, and stay safe.
great, thank you, John.
All right. Thank you.